Hello everyone, Atram here, and I'm doing a Vintage Masters draft. Well, there's some very powerful stuff here. I think Battle Screech has to be probably the top pick. It's either that or Deep Analysis. You know, something I haven't done in forever. I haven't forced Storm in forever. I wonder if I can actually pull that off. This is probably going to be a complete train wreck of a draft anyway, everyone. But I haven't forced Storm in forever. I'm going to try it. Passing the Crescendo of War after taking the Battle Screech is a little harsh, so I'm going to let someone else make that decision. I'm going to take Deep Analysis and try to force friggin' Storm, people. I know. I'm stupid. Ridiculous. You can label me however you'd like, but I'm doing it. And I'm going to pass to High Tide and loving it. My next pickup in there would have been the Nightscape Familiar. There was also Circular Logic. There was a Death's Grasp. I'm trying to remember what else there was. Point being, High Tide's a Storm card. I'm going to do so on, people. Cabal Ritual is likely to wheel. It usually does. I'm going to take Obsessive Search. Obsessive Search works better with things like Frantic Search and Owl Familiar. Cabal Ritual will likely wheel, so I'm going to do this. Guess I grab Brainstorm from this. As far as remaining cards in here go, I could do like Repel as temporary ways to hold off my opponent, but I prefer not to. Tyrant's Choice lowers the amount of Storm you need if you get Tendrils. Options. Turnabout. Also another Nightscape Familiar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 cards left. There's a chance the Nightscape Familiar comes back to me, but it's probably something more like Skirk Familiar that comes back to me. But Turnabout's the card I want. Okay, so the pick here is either Owl Familiar or Dark Rit. I think it's actually going to be Owl Familiar for me. I like Dark Rit a lot in the Storm deck, but I'd prefer Owl Familiar because blue is your heavier color, where black is more your either win con or just some extra mana generation. It's not really what you need to win, unless it's obviously Tendrils, but I think Owl Familiar is fine there. A late pick Frantic Search shows that I am on the right track here. Nature's Ruin is kind of interesting. Tyrant's Choice. But Frantic Search, that's where we want to be. So far, so good. I just need, to get a win con at some point. We'll get there eventually. For now, I can pick up one of these Dark Rits. The nervous part about drafting Storm is you never know if you're going to get the win con. Obviously, you hope you do. Most people don't really take the win cons. Sometimes they do if there's nothing better in the pack. I'll take Brainstorm there, though. So far, we got a bunch of little cantrippy effects. We've got mana generation in the form of High Tide and Turnabout. We got card draw from Deep Analysis. Frantic Search allows us to dig deeper into our deck. Also, Free Spell. Free spells are nice. You like to have the free spells in these decks. Anything that untaps your lands is really good in the Storm deck. Alright, let's see what comes back to us now. Here's hoping... I think there was a Nightscape Familiar in this next pack. I think so. Nightscape Familiar occasionally gets snapped up by the people playing the control decks. It didn't in this case, which is really good for me. So yeah, anything that untaps your lands, though, as I was saying. Turnabout, Frantic Search, Cloud of Fairies. Those are really things you want in the Storm deck. I'll take an Addle. I might play one Addle in the main deck. I don't know if I'll need the Tyrant's Choice, but I'm going to stick it over here for now. Tyrant's Choice is basically just a 4 damage burn spell, really and truly. Alright, I don't need the Skurk Familiar, but I'll take it anyways. Just stick it over there. Dark Rick came back. That's nice. Alright, so we got some mana. We got plenty of mana generation, and I even got a way to reduce the land count in my deck. That's nice. I like that. Even if all it does is switch black, I don't mind a Rocky Tar Pit in my deck. I get another High Tide. Boy, I'm getting a lot of mana. I'm gonna need some draw spells here next, but another High Tide, perfectly fine by me. Wheel of Fortune. Additionally, I could grab Psychotog as an additional win con. But Wheel of Fortune, that's an interesting one. I think I'm grabbing the Psychotog, and here's my reasoning why. A, Wheel of Fortune requires me to play red, but I do have Rocky Tar Pit. B, Psychotog wins games. C, Psychotog. D and beyond, C, E, which C's B. Fact or fiction. Very nice here. I'm hoping to see this Nightscape familiar wheel. Another Psychotog, or another Frantic Search. I would like the other Frantic Search. That extra Psychotog provides me with a lot of assurance that I'm in a reasonable state, even if I don't get anything back. What are the chances that Frantic Search is one of the remaining, 4 cards in this pack? I think they're reasonable. I'm going to take this Psychotog. Nightscape Familiar, Brainstorm. Or Necropotence, but I'm not playing Necropotence. I'm going to take another Nightscape Familiar. Those guys just hold off your opponents forever and make all your spells cheaper. They're worth playing in the Storm deck. As a person who loves forcing Storm, Nightscape Familiars are perfectly legitimate. Trust me, I know. Obviously, still looking for even just like one Brain Freeze. That'll just win right there. Or it'll be my win right there. But Psychotog is perfectly fine. Mind's Desire. Sure, that actually works out really nice. It's a nice Storm card. It's not your win con. It finds you your win con like 99.99999% of the time when you play it. Bad River is really nice. Cloud of Fairies is really nice. But Mind's Desire is definitely the pickup for me there. Alright, I get to pick up a Cabal Ritual here. I get to generate infinite mana. Probably don't need the Addle anymore. And for right now, for count purposes, I'm going to take out that. Sure, I guess I'll grab another Rocky Tar Pit. So really just looking for 1 Tendrils, 1 Brain Freeze. 1 of each would be really nice too. I'd be perfectly fine with that. Then I'd have 2 real Storm win cons, which is really just about what you need. You really just want 1 to 2. You don't really need anything else, just 1 to 2. A Mesmeric Fiend's a reasonable enough way to stall. I actually like Mesmeric Fiend better than Addle because it can block in the worst case situation. Alright, I'm taking the Wheel of Fortune because I have the double Rocky Tar Pit. It's the only reason I'm taking the Wheel of Fortune. It'll dig so deep in my deck that's not even funny. I don't need another Addle, but I'll hold on to it. But yeah, with double Rocky Tar Pit, Wheel of Fortune is more than playable in my Storm deck here. Obviously, still need an actual Storm win con, but I got an entire pack left. I'm not worried. Not worried. We'll find it. Don't you worry. Now, what will be really stupid for me, though, is if I have the 1 Storm win con, or piece of power. I'd take a piece of power, obviously, because it's worth more tickets than the draft combined, but it'd still be very stupid if that was my only chance of a Storm win con. I have plenty of fetches now, so this deck is coming together really nicely. Well, there's neither, so that nixes that entire thought process. least we got the Psychotogs, so we should be fine. We have a win con. It's not like I don't have any win cons in my deck. Another deep analysis. Okay. But yeah, I have a win con. It's just I'd prefer to find one of the ones that actually wins off storm count. Because that's kind of how this deck's supposed to work. Mind's Desire can't actually win off of storm count for you, unfortunately. Plateau. Or another deep analysis. Do I need another deep analysis? I mean, I don't see a problem with another deep analysis, but Plateau is worth a few tickets. I'll take the Plateau. That's fine. Probably don't need this guy. Probably don't need this in the deck. Although I can play it as my one mountain. Yay, I get to be all fancy. Still no real storm win con. I can temporal fissure the entire field, though. I'm not a huge fan of playing temporal fissure as my main way to, actually. Point being, I get drawn to Psychotog, and then I can temporal fissure the entire field, including all my lands, discard them all to Psychotog, kick their butt with Psychotog. It's not really the preferred way to go about it. I'd prefer to see one Brain Freeze or one Tendrils. They're only uncommons. There's a likelihood I could still see one, but it's not. The chance is going significantly down with each pick now because I'm already into past pick 34. It's kind of messy. Alright. Good thing we planned ahead and grabbed these two Psychotogs. That's all I can say on the matter. Good thing I planned ahead. Yeah, Corvex is just awful. I don't really care for any of this. Not a drop. Alright. So it's come to my attention, obviously, as you've noticed, that I'm not winning through a storm win con. Well, best of luck to me, huh? That's about all you can say on the matter. You're just like, yeah, that looks really, really unfortunate. You have this beautiful, beautiful deck. Not a win con in sight. Not a win con in sight. Fun fact, I can play this, though, now that I have a Plateau to also get my red. Well, since the Way of Storm has opted to abandon me, this is interesting. Very awkwardly interesting. Alright. Good thing we have Psychotogs. I can start to cut things like the rituals now, because, well, if you play Psychotog and even like Temporal Fissure for like 3 or 4 points, that's still a whole heck of a lot. So I've got to figure out how I win still. I'm going to have that for a sideboard. I am now, instead of playing Storm, playing Psychotog Control. Or Psychostorm. Psychostorm? Yeah, another deep analysis. Okay. Well, we got infinite card draw, so that is good. We've got the unfortunateness of a Storm deck without a real, actual Storm win con. Temporal Fissure plus Psychotog should be able to get me there, but it's not pretty. Not pretty at all. I am not... Well, let's just say, it's unfortunate. I suppose there is always a chance you just end up in this situation like me. So it's a good thing I picked up Psychotog, as I said. It's the only way I'm going to pull out of pull my ass out of the fire on this one. Okay. So let's see. I got plenty of lands now, so I'm in pretty good shape on that. I can Cabal Ritual. I might keep all these Owl Familiars. Or not Owl Familiars, Nightscape Familiars. I'll ditch the Owl Familiar. This looks reasonably unfortunate. Let's do it. So my lands will be Rocky Tar Pit, Floodplain. Rocky Tar Pits get swamps, Floodplain gets plateau. Voila. Mana problem solved. Bad River. My remaining lands are going to be... I don't need anything more than plateau in red. 3 swamps. I'm going to go up to 4 swamps. 7... Decisions. I will actually do it like they suggested. Because I can get a swamp from that, a swamp from that, a swamp from that. I can't get a swamp from that. But basically it's like as if I'm playing 6 swamps. I'm playing also 4 mountains, technically. Because how all of those get mountain, except for Bad River. Oh, I'm down a card. That's right. Okay, so yeah, with Storm decks, I normally play a 16 land deck. So I get one more card. Yay. I'll take an L. I'll submit it like this. Needless to say, this is going to be interesting. So, if you sort by creatures versus non-creatures, you basically just move the entire freaking deck down. So what I'm going to do is move the creatures portion down. So you can just see what creatures we've actually got going on here. Got Nightscape Familiars, Psychodogs, and a Scrivener. How do we win? As I've been pointed out multiple times so far, double Psychotog. That's our win con. The one, the only Psychofrog. I.e. Psychotog, but the legendary version, Psychofrog. Hey, come on now. He's a legendary creature. Atog Eldrazi Squirrel. We've gone over this. Look back. We've gone over this multiple times. So, got my Psychofrogs, and we're in good shape. Those things will win me games. And they better win me games because they're the only way I'm winning games. See you all